LegacyMaker, the All Sports Network.
Hello, everybody. Darrell, Owens, Jeremiah, Quimby, LegacyMaker Sports Network, and welcome to the first episode of Redskins 732. You're probably thinking to yourself, Redskins 732, what does that mean? Well, 732, the year that the Washington Redskins were born into the National Football League, July of 1932. So, Redskins 732. Now, here on the show, me and Jay are going to bring you previews, highlights, any quick updates on the Redskins throughout the season, and this will be our first one.
And recaps. So we'll be bringing you those as well. So let's go ahead and get it started right with the recap from last week. The Washington Redskins took on the Cleveland Browns, and it was a little bit of a rough go for this team. They lose the game 30-10. But there was some good moments.
There were some good moments. I mean, they really got to see Haskins out there. 2 interceptions. Everybody's like, oh, they slapping him with the bus label. He's a rookie.
Yeah.
And this is one of the most difficult playbooks to, grasp. Give the man some time.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the things is just give him a little time. He did make some good plays. He had a really good pass. Actually, all of his really good passes went to Kinsey. He had that 27-yard rollout, the 33-yard pass that he hit him with.
Very, very agile in the pocket. Something you didn't see at Ohio State was him moving in the pocket.
Yeah, he actually moved and grooved a few times. And this one thing, Redskin fans, you'd be happy that happened. He actually slid. So for all those people that remember RG3 running, you'd be like, no, don't do it. But this time, Haskins did a good job going up there, and he made sure he slid, and, he did a good job on that. But now other players in this game that had a pretty decent game, I thought Case Keenum had a really good game.
Case Keenum looked really good, and he's really making his case to be the day one starter. Giving them that year to let Haskins set and learn. So, yes, Keenum looked great.
Yeah, and then if you want to swing to the defensive side of the ball, we can talk Jimmy Moreland. People continue to rave about Jimmy Moreland, and there's a reason. The play at the goal line forces the fumble. They get the ball back. He had another one where he deflects the ball in the end zone, which more likely would have been a touchdown. Jimmy Moreland is starting to turn. Well, he's already been turning heads, but he's really getting to the point that he might take over things there.
The way he's playing is starting to remind me of this other small school product that happens to be on the Redskins team now, and that's Josh Norman. I really think Moreland will have at least 5 or 6 interceptions this year.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at this game, that Cleveland team came out there guns a-blazing in that first.
Baker Mayfield was just rifling it.
Right, he came out there guns a-blazing. I remember a lot of fans that I spoke to, they was like, oh, the tackling. The tackling was a little suspect on that first drive, but there was a lot of good individual performances in this game. Cole Holcomb had a pretty decent game. I think he had 5 tackles. He was in there doing a pretty good job. They had some struggles on the offensive line. That left side had some problems.
Well, it comes down to they're really missing Trent. Couple things. I even saw stuff on the right side because, who they had starting in there. Their second string guys, Christian and Wes Martin, they need to be starting. I really feel strongly that you need them to starting. You can move Flowers over to guard if you feel safe on the left side.
Mm-hmm.
But I really feel those two need to be starting. I know they played against second teamers, but they look great.
Yeah, well, Jay Gruden has said multiple times that he wants Flowers to be more of a guard type. They're not looking for Flowers to be a left tackle or right tackle. They know that he can play the position, but they're trying to move him to the guard. But obviously, the Trent situation is kind of
but that's why they brought in Donald Penn though too.
Right.
And older guy, but as long as he comes in and plays until either they get it resolved or get the trade done, he'll serve his purpose.
So yeah, I mean, tough first start, way to start the preseason, but it is the preseason.
Big loss by Woodrum getting done, but still got 3 quarterbacks that are there vying, and they brought in another quarterback.
They brought in Jalen McClendon, 6'5", dual threat quarterback from Baylor. He almost has that. That he has a. From what I saw that last day of training camp when he was there, he threw the ball really well. He was moving well in the pocket when he had his opportunity. So he'll definitely be a guy that they're going to definitely use in that Ravens game. They were wondering if he's going to play in tomorrow's game because they're still trying to figure out if he's trying to learn the playbook.
Right.
When we spoke to him, he said, I'm trying to learn that playbook so I can play on that he's trying to get the opportunity.
Still, I like your analysis. Hope looked great because Hamilton didn't look like he did last year. Hamilton looked kind of confused at times. I missed assignments here. And the one guy that I was excited to see play and really disappointed was Troy Apke. I really thought putting him with Collins back there, that would be a good safety. And right now it's just wide open because Apke blew 2 or 3 coverages that I saw.
Yeah, he kind of struggled. Now let's take you to our MVPs of training camp. Training camp just ended a couple of days ago, and in my opinion, Jay, it was a good overall camp. We got to see some of the young guys shine. What were your thoughts on camp?
Knock on wood, no real major injuries. We still haven't really heard what's going on with Sweat, but that was one of the biggest concerns. No big injuries. Didn't lose people for the season because God knows that really hurt us last year. But offensively, Terry McLaurin, man.
Yeah, I mean, McLaurin's been phenomenal.
So underrated, understanding the routes. Made Josh Norman, just dropped him with the double move.
Kind of did the Tootsie Roll.
Yeah, and it's great. And, I got a chance to talk to him at camp. Great guy, very humble. I look forward to seeing what he brings on the field as a player, but also I see this man being a coach in the future.
Now, would you say McLaurin's your offensive MVP?
Absolutely, hands down.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with that. I just love what I saw from him, and he's one of those guys that you see him work hard from beginning to end, and I love the intensity he brought on every play during training.
Yeah, and we talked to Coach Gruden, and he said, Trey Quinn is his slot receiver. Right. He's locked in. If Trey Quinn is, he's questionable now. If Trey Quinn can't stay healthy, McLaurin needs to be in that slot.
It wouldn't surprise me if they make that happen. That would actually be a good move. I think McLaurin could be very special with this team. It's something about him that I really love. So, yep. Redskin fans, I really do think you got something to smile about in McLaurin. Who was your defensive guy?
Defensive guy? Jimmy Moreland, man. Come on. Even with the game, he is a ball hawk. He understands, there's just something about when he reads what's going on the field after the snap. He has this gut instinct of where the ball's going to be, and he's there. So yeah, Jimmy Moreland. I'm going to go with Cole Holcomb, and Gruden praised this man pretty much from the beginning of the camp to the end. They always talked about him. Now I'm starting to understand why. We talked about how we couldn't understand how he could get rid of Foster, but I understand why. This kid continues to develop into a really nice football player, and I think that he could be somebody that will help tailor this team for the future. I like this camp. I thought he was just a hard worker, and he was my defensive. He was giving it every play. I will give you that. I really like Colton too.
All right, other Redskin news that we got to bring you. It's been going on the entire camp. Heck, it's been going on since OTAs. It's been about a 3-month process. All we hear about is Trent Williams. All they talk about is Trent Williams. What Trent Williams is going to do. Are they going to trade Trent Williams? Are they going to keep Trent Williams? Word on the street, Trent Williams does not want to come back to Washington. There's also been said that 7 teams have contacted, coming from some sources, that 7 teams have contacted the Redskins trying to pry Williams out of their hands, and they say no. According to J.P. Finley, I believe of the Washington Post, and I don't want to give up, but according to J.P. Finley, he said there's at least 3 teams still in the hunt, and the Patriots are one of those teams. This Trent Williams situation has been a little bit of a burden, but it's hurting the Redskins at the same time. They want their guy back, but from the way everything is sounding, he doesn't want to be there.
7-time Pro Bowler, he's really taking it out on the medical staff. Seeing a tweet from, a previous Redskin player that brought up a lot more controversy to what Trent's saying.
Yeah, Sue Cravens. That was because he's got an injury settlement going on.
He's got an injury settlement going on, and I had high aspects of him coming out of USC. But, I really think they need to sit down and look at LeVon Bell, even the Kirk Cousins things. Kirk played. You could have traded when the value was high. Trade him. Get what you can out of him. From what I've read, they're asking for a first-round pick, 7-time Pro Bowler. Come on. He is worth a first, if not a first and a third.
Right, and it's going to be, it depends on, if you're a team that has 2 first-round picks next year, or 2 picks at all, like within that range, first, second round, you really have to think about this. Trent Williams is a stud. That's why the Redskins are saying no, they don't want to let him go. But it's almost getting to a point where you think, is it time to just let him go so we can move on? Because it's getting to a point that every day you're hearing the Trent Williams question. I remember one time during training camp, Coach Gruden said, he ain't here. And
he wasn't even asked about him. He wasn't even asked about him.
He's like, he's not here.
And I have no more news.
And I have no more to say about it. And he said, if I hear news on Trent, you'll get the news on Trent. So that's the type of thing, you feel for the coach because you're hearing this stuff every day. You take questions. And it's out of his hands.
And it's just on repeat, and it's really getting annoying. And, you look at some of the other things they could do. They could do, sign for proven tackle. Say, Tampa just signed Donovan Smith, right? Donovan Smith didn't get as much money as what Trent would want.
Right.
So why not do, Tampa throw in a 2nd-round pick, Donovan Smith, bring Trent Williams down there, and look, you got a solid starting left tackle that's young and controllable for the next 4 years.
Yeah, and I know a lot of Redskin fans are not going to want to hear this, but the Patriots are the one name that we've heard. We've heard the Texans, like, at one point, that the Texans at least they would be interested, but the Patriots are one name that you heard. And what did they lose? They lost their left tackle to the Raiders, during the offseason. And so if you can bring in a 7-time Pro Bowler, how nice would that be for them? But that's the thing. If you're the Redskins, you got to make sure if you trade this man that you get the value that you deserve. And to be honest with you, it's going to be hard because how do you replace Trent Williams? Donald Penn's going to be solid, but how do you replace Trent
Williams?
Williams?
Don't think you do. You definitely got to get that first rounder, and the Patriots are willing and ready to do it, and I bet you they'll throw that first rounder in there because Tom Brady signed that new contract, and it's a win now.
Right. All right, y'all. So here it is. Preseason game number 2. The Washington Redskins taking on the Cincinnati Bengals at FedEx Field. First home game of the year overall for the Washington Redskins. And, Jay, this game, after last week, if anything, you just want to see progress. You're not necessarily worried about the win, but you're worried about the progress.
Yeah, you want to see your rookies are growing into the system. Plus, you're on your free agents, and just seeing how the team's coming together, playing as one unit. Because last week, there was some times where you're just like, what are they doing? And I'm looking forward to it. I really am.
Yeah. Now, me and Jay will be up there tomorrow, so you will be able to get an opportunity. We'll have our videos and everything up. You'll be able to catch that after the game is over. So we'll be able to bring you our highlights from that. But with this being said, this game we'll see a little bit more of the starters. Now, people you won't see Trey Quinn, you won't see Paul Richardson, and
Colt McCoy.
You won't see Colt McCoy. At least as of right now, it sounds like we won't see Colt McCoy because the day during walkthroughs, there was no Colt McCoy sighting. And the way things are sounding, it's sounding like Colt McCoy will not play tomorrow. That they're trying to make sure that he's at a good point And you got to be careful with the one guy that knows your offense like the back of their hand. So you got to be careful with him and make sure that he's. And of course, Derek's guys. We won't see guys.
And then on the other side, the one big name that sticks out to me for the Bengals that you won't see is John Ross.
Right, and obviously AJ Green's not going to play because he's out for the next 6 to 8 weeks. So with this game, who are you more excited to see in this game, and who do you think needs to really take a big step up in this game, or you need to see progress from them?
On the Redskins, offensive line, they gotta protect the quarterback.
Right.
You can't blow assignments. Your job, because roster cuts are coming soon.
Right.
Y'all need to step up. And then at the linebacker position, Hamilton did great last year when Preston Smith was removed. I don't see the same football player there at all.
So definitely you got to see that next level. You got to see Hamilton ready to rock and roll on that end.
Hamilton, or you bring in Holcomb and just let him go, because they brought in John Bostic, and Bostic's got that place, so they're looking to fill that next inside linebacker.
Yeah, obviously, I want to see Moreland continue to grow, see what Moreland can continue to do with that team. I really want to see, and I'm just excited to see McLaren. We didn't see McLaren last week. Hoping to get to see him. I'm almost 100% he's going to play, and I want to see McLaren.
Wouldn't it be nice, McLaren playing and against Cincinnati and seeing some of his old teammates, because Cincinnati has got at least 6 Buckeyes
on their
team. So
so it would be a good deal overall if we could get to see McLaren. I really want to see what he does out there. Harmon's another guy that I'm interested in seeing. We saw him last week. I think he got a reception.
That big target, and you really want to see him on the more on the outside, but he's got to learn that playbook.
Yeah, the receivers for me are going to be the position to really watch in this one. Obviously, the line. You want your line to do well. You want them to protect Haskins. Haskins took a few bumps that you wish you wouldn't have took last week. So you want to see them protect him a little bit better. And then I'm curious to see if Case Keenum goes and takes his job, because with McCoy being out, the more that Keenum is showing that he knows that offense, but Keenum's got a chance to go in there and take that bad.
It really is Keenum's job to lose. There's no doubt about that. They paid him the money to bring him in, and he just got to show that he's the guy.
I think that this game is going to be a great game. It's going to be a fun one. Redskin fans really enjoy this one. First one of the year, first home game of the year. Myself, Jeremiah Quimby, will be there for the LegacyMaker Sports Network. Once again, thank you all for tuning in for episode 1 of our weekly show here, as we bring you Redskins updates and all that good stuff. So make sure you check us out on the LegacyMaker Sports Network. I'm Darrell, Jeremiah Quimby. This is Redskins 732. Have a good night.
God bless.
LegacyMaker, the All Sports Network.